Welcome back to another segment on Jolo Kazoo. Today I'll show you how to make some chocolate truffles for any time of the season, but this time around we're going to make it for Christmas. First you start with 2 cups of chocolate chips. Put it in your microwave. Set it for a minute at a time to melt your chocolate. So after a minute, again, give it a good stir. So you'll see that the container is pretty warm, but the chocolate chips aren't yet melted. So put it in for another minute. Take it out. Oh, hot mama. That's hot. Be very careful. And then stir it up until it's nice and smooth. Just like that. Perfect. Now just let your chocolate sit and cool, set it aside, and we'll do the next part of your truffles. The next step is to take 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, pour it into your mixer with the whip attachment, and whip it till you have stiff peaks. This, depending on your mixer, this can take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So it's about there with your stiff peaks. So you want it standing up just like that. So after you've whipped your whipping cream to stiff peaks, you can take your chocolate that you melted that has cooled, and basically you're going to combine these, folding them together. So we're just going to pour it in like so, and just slowly fold in your chocolate. The nice thing about this recipe is that it makes about 100 to 120 of the middles or the center of the truffles that you'll make. So get that nice and mixed together. Again, just folding it until the chocolate is fully incorporated into the whipping cream. Now you have the center of your truffles. So at this point, before you refrigerate it, you need to add flavors. Today we're going to do 2 flavors. We'll make mint truffles and raspberry truffles. So on to our next step. So you just take your middles and separate them into however many flavors you want to make. Again, for our purpose, we will do 2 flavors. Raspberry and mint. So you have your flavor, and we're going to do the peppermint. That smells good. Honestly, I don't know how much I put in here. You really need to just do it to taste, and the longer you let it sit in the refrigerator, the stronger the taste will get. So when you initially taste it, it might be a lighter flavor than you might want. But again, after it sits in the refrigerator for a little while, it'll get a little brighter and you'll be able to taste it better. So usually, that was probably 5 or 6 drops or so. And you just fold in the flavor, keeping that air in your cream. Now we'll go on to our next flavor, some raspberry extract. Oh, that smells lovely. So I'll just put some, if you had to measure it, it might be approximately maybe a 1/16 of a teaspoon. So again, just a few drops, and you can always taste it. So you're just folding that flavor into the middle of your truffles. And that's all you have to do to add some flavor to your truffle centers. Now you have the option of putting it in the refrigerator now so that it hardens just a little bit so it's more pliable in your hands when you roll the truffle centers, or, which is usually how we do it, or you can do it this way. I've never tried it this way. I'm just going to try it for fun. So I have a pan here. It's the baggie. If you have a pastry bag, this will probably work as well too. But since I don't, I just use a Ziploc baggie. This is a quart size. Depending on how much truffle center you have, you might need maybe a gallon size Ziploc baggie. And it's a cold day today in Oregon, so my centers are starting to mold. Okay. So I just cut a piece. I don't know, maybe it'll be like a ½ inch or an inch. And now you'll just start making little balls. And it's not going to be perfect. You don't want it to be too big because they can make really big truffle. And all we're going to do is harden them. And I think this will be a lot easier. And then we're going to end up rolling them anyways. Just going to cut it with a butter knife. It doesn't have to be really big, and it doesn't have to be small either. It's kind of whatever size you want to make your truffle, because when you dip these in chocolate, they'll get a lot bigger. So when you've put these all on a cookie sheet, just put the cookie sheet, you know, if you put it in the freezer, it'll harden faster, or you can put it in the refrigerator wherever you have space. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So now that your truffle centers are firmed up in the freezer, you can go ahead and do the next step. So just take a shallow microwave safe dish. I often use this pie dish here. And put some chocolate in there. This is the chocolate that you're going to use to dip the truffle centers in. And all you do, as you did before, is put the chocolate chips in your microwave for about a minute at a time till they're nice and melted. Probably a minute and a half total. Now just mix your chocolate till it's nice and smooth. And you're just about ready for the next step. So now you have your truffle centers softly frozen, firm, as long as you can handle it a little. But it easily melts in your hand, so don't handle them too much or else they'll melt right away. So here I have some powdered sugar, and this is what we're going to use to try to prevent too much chocolate from sticking to our hands. So just take your centers, try and just roll them lightly and set them on a parchment lined cookie sheet. And you don't have to over powder your hands, just as long as the chocolate doesn't melt too much in your hands. They're about this size. So maybe that's about ½ inch to an inch round. So this is about the right size for a truffle. So just continue doing that with the rest of your truffles. It's very pliable, so just gently rolling it between your hands helps to make it into the ball shape that you want. So that was our half of our batch, and it made about 40 of the truffle centers. As you can see, they're all different sizes, but you know, like I said, the smaller ones are better because you can make more, but the bigger ones, who doesn't want to eat a bigger truffle? So now we're going to go to the dipping phase. So before you start dipping your truffles into your chocolate, make sure your chocolate isn't too warm. because the truffles are so soft that if you dip them in chocolate that's too warm, it'll start melting in your hands. So trying not to use your hands is a really good idea because it's already melting in my hands. So you just put some chocolate on it. I wish there was a better way, but this is just the way I've done it. You could probably have a rack or something and dump it on there. But really, that's how your chocolate truffle turns out. You've got to be a little quick. Got to be a little quick to do it because your chocolate will start cooling in your dish. And so sometimes what I've done is I've done a swirly pattern on the top. So you just go ahead and try to get all sides of your truffle chocolated. And then what you can do is you get most of the excess chocolate off with your fork. And then if you just set it down, you can add maybe a little bit of chocolate and make a swirl design on it like that. Something like that. You can just play with it and just make it your own. So after you dip your truffles, there's a few different things you can do to pep it up a little. You can either leave them the way they are. They're very, very delicious, very simple treat that you can eat anytime or share with your friends. Or you can add a little pizzazz. These are just some things that we had around the house. So you can put some coconut flakes on your truffles while the chocolate is a little wet. We've got some rainbow colored sprinkles that will adhere to the chocolate and cool that way. It's a little fun. We've got some nuts here that you can put on there. We've got some cocoa powder, add a little more chocolate. Or we have some powdered sugar that you can sprinkle on there. You can do a wide variety of things with your homemade chocolate truffles. So after your truffles have been refrigerated and have hardened a little, they're basically ready to eat. You can store your chocolate truffles in an airtight, sealed container in the refrigerator for about a week or two. I hope you've enjoyed watching this segment on Jolo Kasu about how to make your own homemade chocolate truffles. If you have any suggestions on how you've done it at home, share your comments with us down below. We'll be happy to hear from you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching our video on how to make chocolate truffles. If you enjoyed it, click on one of our other videos featured here, or click on the bottom to subscribe today.